Okay, I want to give you a bit of a behind the scenes sneak peek kind of a view of where are these trades coming from, what's the idea behind them, that kind of thing. And I want to show you how you can how simple it is for you to be able to you'll see the trade, and I think over time understanding a little bit of the logic and some of what's going into it, etc. That'll make a difference. So yesterday we had the one I posted this. So today it's April 16th. It's Tuesday. Yesterday we had this trade on the NASDAQ. That one worked. And then yesterday in the afternoon, I was trying to sell the S&P at 51.34 and at 51.40, two different signals, and neither of those worked. But I did want to point out, if you notice right here, the target here was for 50.96, so 5,096. We actually had, it was 5,094.50, and the low yesterday ended up being 94. And so even though it didn't bounce enough to fill these trades, it still did get to, it did go to the target. And then I want to show you a couple of things that we have from today. So at 9:20 a.m., this is on Pacific time. You'll see that at 9:20, I posted that we were buying the S&P at 5,098 and at 95. So this is a little bit unusual. What we'll do is we'll sometimes have two entries into a trade. And the reasoning behind that is that if the lower one fills, or the better price ends up filling, we can move this one and take it off at break even. And that way we're mitigating our risk, and we don't have to have a whole bunch of, some big stop loss, that kind of thing. And then also you can see from 95, the risk on the one at 95 was only a point and a half. So from here, what you'll see is that the first target was at 51.06 and then at 22.50. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get your target at just a little bit in front of where likely. So I want your entry so that you can place you get this notification. This is at 12:20 this morning or this afternoon. If you're Eastern time, it's 9:20 if you're Pacific time. This post comes in. I had a bit of an exceptional circumstance. I couldn't be here this morning, so that's partly why this was so late in the day. But you get this notification. You can literally just place the order here at 98 and then place the order at 95. There's no guessing. There's no wondering what you should be doing. So you can just go ahead and place the buy limit right there. Your stop goes to 93.50. Your first target is 06. That's 11 points from the lower entry. Obviously 8 points from the higher entry. And then we're targeting 22.50 because we're expecting it to go just beyond 22.50, at least initially. So what you can see, that's at 9:20, and you can see right here the market came down here at 10:10, and the low was 94.75. Let me get a data box and bring that over here. I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully you can see that okay. Let's just try to make this a little bit bigger maybe. Go 16 and we'll make it bold. That might help. Okay, so what you can see right here then is at 10:10 Pacific time, so about 50 minutes after this was posted, 45-ish minutes after this was posted, the low is 94.75. And so there's the low, 94.75. Your order was 98 and 95. So it hit 98, and then that was in front of this. So it hit 98, came down to 95. One tick through 95, came back up. You get out of the trade at 98 at break even. Your stop is down here. And then your first target, per rules, the rules are that when the first entry is filled, so 51.06, that's the first target. So your target is filled. This is 06 right here. So it hit 95, it came up, it hit 06, and then kind of stalled out and then ended up. This was the Fed speaking and whatever, and it kind of spiked. So it spiked down. So your second contract, if you have, let's say you have two contracts on, your first one you take off here, your second one you're holding for a move up to 22.50. But you move the stop up to break even. It came down. It does stop you out at break even. and per rules, if you're just really strictly following the rules. But then notice what happened. It came right back up, and the high here was 23.25 because we had this level at 23 and at 23.5. So I wanted to get out in front of that 23, which was 22.50. So you have, if you end up staying in that trade, you have a limit order at 22.50. Now, per the rules, you would have gotten out, etc., etc. So, but I wanted to point out is that it still goes right where the target was for this trade. It still went right there. In hindsight, we obviously should have been selling up here. But yeah, there you have it. So then this ends up coming back down. And then I want to jump over here and I want to just show you, oh, that's not what I want to do. This is the NASDAQ chart. And I want to show you, we did post a trade on NASDAQ right here. 1144, so that's over here-ish. And what I wanted to see was it came down and tagged this yellow line, and then it tagged purple. I was a little late to the party. We should have bought either one of these, but I was a little late getting to that, and then, we should have been able to, we really should have gotten from here to here, which would have been a really nice 70-point trade or something, but that didn't happen. And so I was trying to buy it a little lower off the green line that we use, and that's why we had 864.50 just in front of that green line. And it never got back down there. So this trade never filled, and we had the trade on the S&P. So 11 points on half of your size. The other half broke even. Still not a terrible day. You're still at $550 on a one lot, and that's a pretty good day. Yesterday's $650 on a one lot. And today 550 on a one lot. So just trading a one lot, you're up over 11 or 1,200 bucks on the last 2 days. And so so let me give you a little bit of an idea. This is the live trade signals, and then I've had some questions about, well, what's the difference between that and the live trade room? In the live trade room, I'm streaming. I use let me show you. Oh, that's not at all what I wanted to do. Let me get back to that. Where are we? Probably that one. Okay, so I am streaming my screen, and it looks something like this. Get rid of that. So we have this chart on the S&P, and we have this chart on the NASDAQ, and that's what we are looking at. I know what I'm doing. And then I stream that all day. I'm trading on the chart, so you see all the trades that I'm making. And I'm talking through it in real time. I'm walking through the logic of why I'm doing what I'm doing. In the signals room, you saw what that looks like. So in the live trade room, I just want to give you an idea of, if you look right here, so this is something that we use. You're not going to see this outside of trading with me in the live trade room. But what you'll see is that we had these trend lines. This is a indicator that automatically plots these trend lines based off very specific criteria. So this was the low over here, and this was the high, and then we retested that high, and then we had obviously the pink line that we had from today, which was just a little bit beyond here. So this made a lot of sense to kind of probe up there. But notice what's happening. It's basically traded inside of this range from here to here, and it did that all day. And even on the spike down, if you got fooled and you thought this was the low, and if you got fooled on that, it would have been easy to think on the spike down, oh, they're going to spike lower. But the market had this structure in place, and so that never really broke, it never really broke the structure. So I fully expected to come back up and retest this. Now moving into tomorrow, I think it's very possible that we come up and we test up into here. And you already saw what I had from before. Now this is not valid anymore, but you already saw what I had from before, where I said 51.34 and 51.40. Well, that's a little bit of a mix of, you can see right here. So this has moved up over time, and then 40s right here. But anyway, these have changed a bit, so those numbers would change. Obviously, that's going to be a whole day or so later, but just to give you an idea. And if they do end up moving lower, just so you can see what it looks like, is if we do end up coming down and breaking down here, there's a lot of room. 51.47, there's a lot of room down here. So if the selling picks back up, there's a lot of room for it to sell. Otherwise, there's a pretty significant amount of room to bounce. In the next day or 2 or 3, if they were to come back up and retest this 5160, it might be 5170, but somewhere between 5160 and 70 in the next few days, you can see why that's really bold. That's going to be a big major price that they're going to have to work through if they're going to get through that. So there's a little bit of a sneak peek. So, you know, you can learn all of the methods behind all of this and where all this stuff is coming from. You can certainly learn that. You can do that in the live trade signals and or in the live trade room. And in the signals room, you literally can just get alerted of good trades. So it's really up to you, whichever one is a better fit for you. But I wanted to just kind of walk through that and give you a little bit of an idea. And hopefully that's helpful, and would love to have you in either room. If you have any questions, just reach out to us, support@daytradelikeapro.com, and we'll see you soon.